I grabbed my daughter straight to court, where the stunned room watched my wife and former best friend kneel as she testified about their betrayal. Be me, 29-year-old Ryan. Living in Boulder, successful software architect, married to Natalie for 8 years. Standing at a college reunion party, nursing a bourbon that's getting warm in my hand. Watching my wife move through the crowd, she's magnetic tonight. Her laugh echoing across the room like music. Looking stunning in her burgundy dress. Matches her hazel eyes perfectly. But something feels off. This whole reunion was her idea. Said we needed to reconnect with old classmates. Can't shake this weird feeling in my gut. Maybe it started when she hugged Adrian, that asshole I competed with for her attention back in college. He aged well, unfortunately. Broad shoulders, same smug confidence. But it's not his charm that bothers me. It's how Natalie lingered in his embrace. Held on just a bit too long. Ryan, my man, Adrian approaches. That cocky walk hasn't changed. His handshake is tight. Smile feels like a knife. Long time, right? Yeah, I managed to say, try to force a smile. Feels like yesterday we were all hanging out at Murphy's. His eyes keep drifting to Natalie. She's laughing with Megan and some others now. You've done well for yourself. Thanks, I reply coldly. We're happy. His grin gets wider, more predatory. Leans in close. Whispers something that makes my skin crawl. You'll never forget this night. Try to brush it off as his usual cryptic bullshit. Leftovers from our old rivalry. But his words stick with me. Can't shake them as I move through the party. Making small talk with old classmates. Eyes keep drifting back to Natalie. She's radiant as always, but something's different. Something I can't pin down. The way she looks at Adrian. How she touches his arm when they talk. Tell myself I'm being paranoid. But that voice in my head won't shut up. Need some fresh air. Step outside into the backyard. November wind bites at my skin. Still better than the suffocating atmosphere inside. Only stay out for a few minutes. Try to get my thoughts straight. Head back in to find Natalie. Scan the room, but she's nowhere in sight. My heart drops into my stomach. Look through all the clusters of people. Keep expecting her to appear from somewhere. Room feels emptier somehow. Pulse starts racing. Walk over to Megan by the makeshift bar. Have you seen Natalie? Try to keep my voice casual. Megan frowns. She was here just a second ago. Pull out my phone. Call her number. Rings once, twice, goes to voicemail. That's when I spot it. A folded piece of paper on our table. Looks out of place among the empty glasses. My name written on the front, hands trembling as I open it. Read the message inside. Don't worry, I'll borrow your wife for a few hours. Words hit me like a punch to the gut. Stare at the note. Brain refuses to process what it means. Adrian's face flashes in my mind. His earlier words now feel sinister. Room starts spinning. Music and laughter become distant noise. No idea where Natalie is, or what this means. But one thing's crystal clear. My life is about to change forever. Stumble out of the house, clutching that note like it's my lifeline. Party sounds fade behind me, standing in the driveway, breath-making clouds in the cold air. Chest feels tight, thoughts racing in circles. What does it mean? Where is she? Who wrote the damn note? Don't know what to do. Fall back on my default move. When life goes sideways, call Lucas. Lucas has been my rock since college. Always there through every crisis, through breakups, through job changes, through all life's messy moments. He answers on the third ring, voice groggy, but instantly alert. When he hears the edge in mine, Ryan, what's going on? I need you to come over, voice shaking as I pace by my car. It's Natalie. Something's wrong. She's gone. Someone left a note. A note? His tone sharpens. What kind of note? Read it to him. Words taste like poison in my mouth. I don't know what to do. She's not answering her phone. And this party. God, Lucas, I can't even explain it. I'll be there in 10 minutes, he says firmly. Stay put. Hang up and lean against the car. Try to steady my breathing. Mind spinning with possibilities. Each one worse than the last. Is she in danger? Is this some sick joke? Or worse? Is she part of whatever this is? Sound of tires on gravel snaps me back. Lucas's old Jeep pulls into the driveway. He jumps out, looking grim. Still in his sweats and hoodie. Hair all messed up, like he just rolled out of bed. Don't care. He's here. That's all that matters. What the hell is going on, Ryan? He asks, voice low as he walks up. Hand him the note. Watch his face darken as he reads it. Who's this from? I don't know, I say. Run my hand through my hair. It was just on the table. Went outside for a few minutes. When I came back, Natalie was gone. Lucas takes a deep breath, folds the note, puts it in his pocket. First things first. Have you called her? She's not picking up, I say, voice cracking. What do I do, Lucas? Do I go back inside? Should I call the police? Lucas opens his mouth to answer. My phone buzzes in my hand. For a split second, relief floods through me. Think maybe it's Natalie. Look at the screen. Stomach drops. Unknown number. There's a photo attached. Open it with trembling fingers. Image loads. Knees almost give out. It's Natalie. Face flushed. Hair all messed up. Her lips parted in this weird dazed smile. Face streaked with something thick and white. Stomach churns when I realize what it is. Lucas grabs my shoulder, steadying me. What is it, Ryan? Can't speak. Just hold up the phone. Let him see. His expression darkens. Jaw clenching tight. Jesus Christ, he mutters. Who sent this? I don't know. Voice breaks, panic creeping in. What the hell is happening? What is she doing? Who's she with? Lucas takes a deep breath, hands still firm on my shoulder. We'll figure this out. First, we need to trace that number. Might give us a lead on where she is. I nod, try to swallow the bile rising in my throat. Lucas is calm, collected. His confidence grounds me. Pulls out his phone. Already making plans. Meanwhile, I stare at the photo again. Mine a hurricane of emotions. Anger, fear, humiliation. How did we get here? 8 years of marriage. All the life we built together. How did I miss the signs? What am I supposed to do now? Pieces start clicking together. Jagged and uneven, but forming a picture. Adrian. His smug grin. His cryptic words at the party. You'll never forget this night. Wasn't just small talk. Wasn't idle chatter. He's behind this. Clench my fists. Rage boiling in my chest. Slam the car door shut. Get in the driver's seat. Lucas slides in beside me. The photo burned into both our minds. That chilling message too. You're thinking Adrian, aren't you? Lucas asks. Glancing at me, I nod. Grip the steering wheel until knuckles turn white. It's him. I know it is. What's the plan? We're going to his place. Say it through gritted teeth. Need to see him face to face. Drive to Adrian's place feels endless. Mind racing with every possible scenario. Each one worse than the last. Think about Natalie. Her smile. Her laugh. The way she'd rest her head on my shoulder. During quiet evenings on the couch. What happened to that woman? How did she end up in this nightmare? Finally arrive at Adrian's house. Everything's dark. Driveway empty. Park a block away. We approach cautiously. Scan the street for anything unusual. Lucas gestures toward the front door. Looks deserted. Walk up the steps. Knock on the door. Sound echoes through the quiet neighborhood. No answer. Knock again. Harder this time. Still nothing. Ryan, let's think this through, Lucas says. Puts his hand on my shoulder. If Adrian's behind this, he's not going to be here waiting for you. We need a better plan than just banging on doors. Before I can respond, phone buzzes again. Yank it out of my pocket. Dread tightening in my chest. Another message. Same unknown number. If you don't leave $50,000 at this address by midnight, your wife will feel bad. There's a screenshot of an address attached. One I don't recognize. Show it to Lucas. Hands shaking. Jesus, he mutters. Runs a hand through his hair. This is turning into a ransom. Are you sure this is Adrian? Who else would it be? I snap. Start pacing on the front porch. He's the only one with a grudge. Only one who's been acting weird all night. He said this night would be unforgettable. This has to be him. Lucas pulls up the address on his phone. It's an industrial area across town, mostly warehouses. If they're holding Natalie somewhere, could be there. Stop pacing. Stare at him. What do we do? I don't have 50 grand just lying around. We don't pay, Lucas says firmly. If we give them money, no guarantee they'll let Natalie go. We need to get ahead of this. I nod, stomach churning at the thought of what could happen to Natalie if we're wrong. But Lucas is right. Paying won't solve anything. Whoever's behind this, they're playing a sick game. Not going to let them win. Let's go, I say. Voice steady despite chaos in my head. Get back in the car. Tension between us thick and suffocating. The address looms on Lucas's phone screen. Small red pin marking the unknown location, where Natalie's fate hangs in balance. My thoughts keep spiraling back. To the photo. The note. Adrian's smug face. Every mile we drive. Feels like another layer of my life. Unraveling. Clench the steering wheel. Jaw tight. If Adrian's behind this, he's going to regret ever messing with me. Lucas nods. Eyes hard. Let's make sure we're right before we act. Can't afford any mistakes. City lights start to fade. Industrial district comes into view. Take a deep breath. Steel myself for what's ahead. One way or another, going to get Natalie back. And whoever's responsible is going to pay. Next few hours pass in desperate haze. Every fiber of my being screams against their demands. But what choice do I have? Natalie's life is on the line. Can't gamble with that? The thought of her suffering, whatever they might do to her, strips away all my hesitation. Lucas stays quiet. As I sit at the kitchen table, staring at the message on my phone, the industrial address glares back. Like an unrelenting reminder of my failure to protect my wife. I'll figure out the money, I say finally. Voice sounds hollow. Lucas frowns, leans forward. Ryan, you don't even know if this will work. What if they take the money and still don't let her go? What if it's not Adrian? We're walking into their trap. I know, I say. Meet his eyes. But I can't risk it. If there's even a chance this gets Natalie back, I have to try. He sighs, shoulders slumping. How are you going to pull together 50 grand in a few hours? Call in every favor. Drain every account I can. Emergency savings. A loan from Lucas. Even max out a credit card. It's not easy. But by midnight, I have the money. Sick sense of dread churns in my stomach. As I stuff the cash into a black duffel bag, Lucas insists on coming with me, his hand on my shoulder. As we load into the car, I'm not letting you go in there alone. The drive to the address is quiet. Tension between us palpable. Streets are dark and empty. Industrial district looms ahead, like a ghost town. Pull up to the warehouse. Cut the engine. Stare at the building. Heart pounding. You don't have to do this, Ryan, Lucas says, voice low. There might be another way. There isn't, I say firmly. Grab the bag. Step out of the car. Stay here. If anything happens, call the police. Lucas hesitates, jaw tight, but he nods. Be careful. Walk toward the warehouse. Footsteps echoing in the silence. Air is freezing, biting at my skin. As I approach the building, no one in sight, just shadowy outline of the structure. Faint hum of machinery in distance. Door creaks as I push it open. Sound cuts through stillness like a knife. Inside space is dimly lit. Single overhead bulb, casting long shadows across concrete floor. In center of room, metal table, bare except for a note. Leave the money. Walk away. Set the bag on the table. Hands trembling. Every instinct tells me to shout, to demand they show themselves. But no better. They hold all the cards. All I can do now is follow instructions. And pray. Back away slowly. Eyes scanning room for any movement. Nothing. Silence is deafening. Tension suffocating. When I reach the door, turn and step outside, chest heaving with shallow breaths. Lucas waiting by the car, expression mix of relief and apprehension. What happened? They didn't show, I say, shaking my head. I left the money. Now we wait. We sit in the car for eternity, watching warehouse from safe distance. Phone buzzes again. Heart leaps into my throat. Fumble to unlock it. Hands shaking. Another message. Single line of text. She's at the park. You've got 10 minutes. Without a word. Start the car. Peel out of the lot. Tires screech on asphalt. Park's only a few blocks away. But every second feels like an hour. Mind racing with possibilities. What if she's not there? What if this is another trap? When we arrive, jump out of car. Scan the darkened park. Pulse hammering in my ears. At first, see nothing. Just shadows and empty benches. Then near the fountain, I spot her. Natalie sitting on the fountain edge. Arms wrapped around herself. Hair disheveled. Her dress wrinkled and torn. But she's alive. Relief washes over me. Run to her. Drop to my knees in front. Natalie, I say. Voice breaking. Are you okay? Did they hurt you? She looks up at me. Eyes red and swollen. Ryan, she whispers. Voice trembling. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Pull her into my arms. Hold her tight. As she sobs against my chest. Whatever happened. Whatever secret's still buried. None of it matters right now. She's back. She's safe. But as I hold her, eyes drift to shadows beyond fountain. Somewhere out there, someone is watching. Someone who took everything from me. Won't rest until I find out who. Drive home is a blur. Natalie sits in silence, arms wrapped around herself, like trying to hold herself together. Keeps stealing glances from driver's seat, but she avoids my gaze. Stares out window into darkened streets. Mind churning. Relief of finding her, quickly overshadowed by avalanche of questions. When we get home, she moves mechanically, goes straight to bathroom, without a word. Hear shower start. Water sound muffling chaos in my head. Fists clench. As I replay events of night, try to make sense of them. Something isn't adding up. Sit on edge of bed, head in hands until hear faint buzz. Her phone on nightstand. Eyes snap to it. Screen lights up with notification. Just a name and a heart emoji. Gut twists. Hands shake as reach for phone. Hesitate. War raging in mind. Don't want to invade privacy, but not in stomach screams. Need answers? Steel myself. Pick it up. Swipe to unlock. First thing I see. Thread of messages from Adrian. Breath catches in throat. Start scrolling through conversation. It's all there. Weeks and months of messages. Romantic photos of them together. Secret plans. Discussions about tonight's events. Heart pounding as truth unfolds. Adrian hadn't kidnapped her. She orchestrated the whole thing with him. Chest tightens as I read. Adrian, tonight's going to be perfect. He'll never see it coming. Natalie, I'm nervous, but I trust you. Adrian, just stick to the plan. You'll finally be free of him. We can be together without hiding. Natalie, I can't wait. I love you. Room starts spinning. Every photo, every flirtatious exchange, every explicit message between them. Stabs like a knife. There are selfies, them in hotel rooms, at bars, even at the riverside cabin she claimed was a self-care retreat. Can't breathe. Copy the messages. Send them to my phone. Need evidence before inevitable confrontation. Mind racing. Torn between fury and disbelief. And heartbreak. The woman I've loved for years. Woman I fought to save. Betrayed me in worst possible way. Shower shuts off. Hear curtain slide back. Few moments later, Natalie emerges. Wrapped in towel. Hair dripping water onto hardwood floor. She freezes. Sees me holding her phone. Expression morphs from surprise to dread. Ryan, she says slowly, voice trembling. What are you doing? Stand up. Hold the phone up. What the hell is this, Natalie? Her eyes widen. Realizes what I found. I can explain. Explain? I bark. Voice rising. Explain what? That you've been planning this with Adrian for months? That this entire night, this kidnapping was all a setup? That you've been lying to me? Cheating on me? While I've been breaking my back, trying to keep this marriage together. She opens her mouth, then closes it, eyes darting to phone in my hand. Ryan, I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you. Scared? I spit, incredulous. You weren't scared when you were texting him, when you were meeting him behind my back, when you planned this whole sick charade. To humiliate me, don't you dare play victim now. Tears well up in her eyes. Can't tell if from guilt or realization she's been caught. She reaches for phone, pull it back. Glare at her. You're not getting this, I say coldly. I sent everything to my phone. Every message. Every photo. I have it all. Her face crumples. Takes step back, clutching towel like shield, from weight of her betrayal. Ryan, please. Let me explain. I'm done listening to your lies, I say. Voice breaking. Do you have any idea what you've done? To me? To us? I've spent entire night thinking you were in danger. Terrified I might lose you. And whole time, you were playing me like a fool. She drops to her knees, sobbing, hands clasped in front of her. I didn't mean for it to go this far, she whispers. I was unhappy, Ryan. I felt trapped. Adrian, he made me feel alive again. Alive? I hiss. Do you know what you've made me feel? I sacrificed everything for you, for this marriage, and you repay me with lies and infidelity. She reaches out, hands trembling. Step back, heartbreaking all over again. Don't, I say firmly. Don't touch me. I can't even look at you right now. Her sobs grow louder, but I feel nothing. Just hollow ache in chest. The woman I thought I knew, woman I'd loved, was gone. In her place, a stranger who shattered my trust and my life. Turn and walk out of room. Leave her there on floor. Mind already working. Planning next move. Natalie thought she could manipulate me. Lied to me. But she was wrong. Not going to let her get away with this. Not without consequences. Her cries echo in hallway as I pull duffel bag from closet. Throw it onto bed. My movements mechanical. Fueled by icy determination. Rather than rage, she hovers behind me, sniffling. Voice trembling as she tries to explain. Ryan, please don't do this. We can fix this. I was confused. I spin to face her. Venom in my voice cuts her off. You were confused? You were confused while sneaking around with Adrian? While you planned this whole thing behind my back? While you mocked everything we built together? She flinches, hands wringing towel around her as tears stream down face. For a moment feel pang of pity, but quickly replaced by memory of those texts, the photos, the deceit. No room for sympathy now. Get your things, Natalie, I say coldly, zipping duffel bag. You're leaving tonight. Her eyes widen. Ryan, please, don't make me say it again, I snap. You've lied to me, betrayed me, and humiliated me. You have no place here anymore. She hesitates, then slowly moves to dresser, pulling out clothes with shaking hands. Each item she packs feels like another brick falling from crumbling wall of our marriage. When her bag is full, grab my keys, gesture toward door. Let's go, I say, tone devoid of emotion. Drive to her sister's house is suffocating. Complete silence fills the car. She sits hunched in passenger seat, staring at her hands, while I grip wheel, knuckles white. When we arrive, don't even bother getting out. She opens door, hesitates like she wants to say something, then steps out, closes it behind her. Watch her disappear into house, chest hollow, but mind resolute. When I get back home, emptiness hits like a wave. Silence is deafening. Reality of what just happened begins to sink in. Pour myself a stiff drink, sink onto couch, stare at blank television screen. What now? Can't sit with weight of it alone. Pick up phone. Call Lucas. He answers almost immediately. Voice cautious. Ryan, what's going on? Can you come over? I say. Voice raw. I need to talk. I'll be there in 15, he says, without hesitation. True to his word, Lucas arrives not long after, six-pack of beer in hand. Doesn't say anything. As he sits down beside me, cracks open 2 bottles, hands me one. We sit in silence, only sound occasional clink of glass against coffee table. Finally, he speaks. What happened? Exhale shakily. Launch into story. The party. The note. The ransom. Messages on her phone. By time I finish, voice is hoarse. Emotions frayed. Lucas listens intently, expression darkening with every detail. Jesus, Ryan, he says when I finish. That's next level betrayal. I nod, staring at bottle in hands. I thought I knew her, Lucas. Thought we had something real. But this, it's like everything we've built was a lie. Lucas sighs, leans back against couch. I don't know what to say, man. That's brutal. But you did the right thing kicking her out. She doesn't deserve to be under this roof. After what she's done, I don't know if it's enough, I admit. Voice cracking. She planned this with him. They made me look like a fool. His tone firm. You're not helpless here, Ryan. You've got the messages. The photos. She can't deny what she's done. Look at him. Weight of his words slowly sinking in. He's right. Spent entire night reacting, blindsided by every new revelation. But now I have the power. Can take this mess, turn it into a plan. What do I do? I ask. Voice barely above whisper. Lucas leans forward, elbows on his knees. First, you need to see a lawyer. Protect yourself, your assets. Make sure she doesn't get a dime, more than she deserves. And second, he pauses, meets my gaze. You need to expose the truth. Let people know what she's done. Don't let her control the narrative. I nod slowly, fog in mind starting to lift. He's right. Natalie and Adrian thought they'd won. But this isn't over. Not by a long shot. Drain rest of my beer, said empty bottle on table. Thanks, Lucas. I don't know what I'd do without you. He claps me on shoulder. You'll get through this, Ryan. One step at a time, as night wears on, we stay there on couch, strategizing, planning, slowly piecing together next chapter of my life. It won't be easy, but for first time since nightmare began, feel glimmer of hope. This isn't the end. It's beginning of my fight to reclaim my life and my dignity. Next day, sound of knock on door wakes me from restless sleep. Body feels heavy, burdened by events of previous day. For a moment, think I'm dreaming. Natalie's betrayal, the messages, the confrontation. But when knocking gets louder, bitter reality settles back into chest. Reach for door, run hand through disheveled hair. Clock on wall shows little after 7. When I open door, she's there. Natalie stands on porch, dressed simply in jeans and hoodie, hair pulled back in messy bun, her eyes puffy, expression tense. Sports bag hangs on shoulder, clutches phone tightly in one hand. I came to get rest of my things, she says. Voice quieter than usual, but not apologetic. Stare at her for a moment, anger boiling in my soul. As I size her up, she looks small, vulnerable. But now I know better. Vulnerability is a mask, a weapon she used to manipulate me. Over and over again, but not anymore. Come in, I say roughly. Step aside. She walks past me into house, her eyes flickering around living room, like expecting to see ghost of her former life. Follow her. Watch as she heads into bedroom, begins to pack remaining belongings. Sound of zippers, rustling of clothes, fills suffocating silence. Finally can't hold it in any longer. Was it worth it? I ask. Voice cutting through silence like blade. She freezes. Back turned to me. Ryan, was it worth it, Natalie? I repeat, tone sharper now. Trading me for that. For Adrian. She turns slowly, eyes wide. It's not that simple. Don't, I snap. Step closer. Don't you dare try to wiggle out of this. I've seen the messages. I've seen the pictures. You've been planning this for months. You lied to me over and over again. You humiliated me. Tears well up in her eyes. But don't let them affect me. I'd seen her cry before, and it was always real. Now it's like different game. I didn't mean to hurt you, she says, voice trembling. You didn't mean to hurt me? Laugh bitterly. Natalie, you organized a fake kidnapping with your lover and tried to extort $50,000 from me. You made me think you were in danger. You can't say you didn't mean to hurt me. Her tears pour down like river. She sinks to edge of bed, hands shaking. I didn't know what else to do, she whispers. I was miserable, Ryan. I felt trapped. Trapped? I ask again. Trapped in what? In a marriage where I gave you everything? Where I trusted you, supported you, loved you? What was so unbearable about it? That you decided to destroy it? She shakes head, looking at floor. I don't expect you to understand. No, I say coldly. I don't understand, and I never will. Because no matter how hard it was for me, I never thought about betraying you. I never thought about throwing away everything we've built for some cheap thrill. She looks up at me, tears streaming down face. I didn't plan to fall in love with him. It just happened. Clench my fists, fighting urge to scream. It didn't just happen, Natalie. You chose this. Every text, every meeting, every lie. You made that choice, and now you're standing here, asking me to feel sorry for you. I'm not asking for pity, she says, voice rising. I'm just trying to explain. Well, don't bother, I say. Turn away from her, because there is no explanation that will ever make this okay. Silence hangs between us, heavy and suffocating. After a few minutes, she stands up, slings bag over shoulder, stops at door, looks back at me one last time. For what it's worth, she says quietly. I loved you, Ryan. I lost myself along the way. I don't answer. Can't. She lingers for a moment, then walks out. Sound of door closing behind her. Final nail in coffin of our marriage. As I stand in empty bedroom, storm of emotions rages inside me. Anger, sadness, betrayal, painful sense of loss. I gave her everything, and she rejected it all. But as painful as it is, know one thing for sure, better off without her. We'll rebuild. Stronger and wiser, without weight of her lies, dragging me down. Rage simmers within me. Long after Natalie leaves, the betrayal, the lies, the humiliation, all gnaws at me, refusing to let me rest. Need answers. Need to confront the man who helped orchestrate destruction of my life. Adrian, pace living room, fists clenching and unclenching. As debate next move. Confronting Natalie wasn't enough. She was a liar. But Adrian was the instigator, the mastermind. He'd worked his way into my marriage, manipulated Natalie, nearly destroyed me in process. If anyone deserved my wrath, it was him. But don't know where to find him. Haven't seen Adrian since party. Doubt he'd make himself easy to track. That's when it hits me. Megan. She'd always been Natalie's closest confidant. In college, but she and Adrian had been friends too. If anyone knew where he might be, it was her. Call Megan under pretense of needing help. She sounds hesitant when she answers, voice wary. Ryan, what do you want? Need to talk to you, I say. Try to keep tone steady. It's about Adrian. She hesitates. Ryan, I don't want to get involved. In whatever's going on, please, Megan, I interrupt. I need answers. You're the only one who can help me. Long pause before she sighs. Fine. Meet me at Copper Bean on Pine. In 30 minutes? When I arrive, Megan's already there. Nursing a latte, looking uncomfortable, barely meets my eyes. As I sit across from her. Why are you asking about Adrian, she says. Without preamble. I think you know why, I say. Voice low. He's been having an affair with Natalie. He helped her stage this whole kidnapping scheme. And now I need to find him. Her eyes widen slightly. Looks down at her cup. I didn't know about the kidnapping, she mutters. But I knew they were involved. Natalie told me. Of course she did. My stomach twists. But keep my composure. Where is he, Megan? She hesitates, biting her lip. I don't want to... Megan, I say firmly. Lean closer. He helped her betray me. He extorted money from me. I need to confront him. And I need your help. After another long pause, she relents, scribbles address on napkin, slides it across table. This is his place. But Ryan, don't do anything crazy. I nod. Pocket the napkin. Thanks. Moment I leave. Call Lucas. He picks up on first ring. I've got Adrian's address, I say. Voice hard. Meet me at my place. We're going to pay him a visit. Lucas doesn't hesitate. On my way. Hour later, pull up outside Adrian's apartment building. Sleek modern complex. Looks out of place. In otherwise run-down neighborhood. Hands grip steering wheel tightly. As stare at building. Pulse pounding in ears. You ready for this? Lucas asks. Voice calm but firm. I nod. Unbuckle seatbelt. Let's do it. Make our way up to Adrian's floor. Tension between us palpable. When we reach door, don't bother knocking politely. Pound on it hard. Sound echoes down hallway. After moment, door creaks open. And there he is. Adrian. He looks surprised. His smug confidence replaced by weariness. When he sees me, Ryan, he says slowly. Eyes flicking to Lucas. What are you doing here? Push door open further. Step inside. We need to talk. He steps back, holds up hands defensively. Look, man, I don't know what you're... Save it, I snap. Cut him off. I know everything, Adrian. I know about you and Natalie. I know about the stage kidnapping. And I know you took my money. His face pales, starts to stammer. Ryan, I didn't mean for things to get out of hand, Natalie said. Natalie's not here to protect you, I say, voice cold. And I've got proof. Every message, every photo, every detail of your little plan. Unless you want me to take it all to police, you're going to give me my money back. Every cent. He swallows hard, hands shaking. Okay, he says quickly. I'll get it. Just don't call the cops. Moves to safe in corner of room, fumbling with combination. Watch him closely. Anger boiling over. As he retrieves bundle of cash, hands it to me. There, he says, voice trembling. That's everything. I swear. Count money quickly, then look up at him. You're lucky I'm not doing worse than this. Before he can respond, slap him across face. So hard he stumbles back, nearly loses footing. His eyes widen in shock, but doesn't dare retaliate. Lucas grabs my shoulder. Let's go. We leave without another word. Cash secure in hands. Get back in car. Drive away. Weight lifts off chest. It's not over. Not by long shot, but for first time. Feel like I've reclaimed peace of what Adrian and Natalie took from me. And I'm not done yet. Back at home, Lucas and I sit at kitchen table. Bundle of cash in front of us. Like trophy of battle won. Adrenaline from confronting Adrian. Still coursing through my veins, but now with tension easing. Enormity of everything begins to sink in. Lucas leans back in chair, cracks open a beer, slides one across to me. You good? He asks, tone soft but concerned. I nod, though hands still trembling slightly, as pickup bottle. I don't know what I would have done. Without you, Lucas, I say, voice hoarse. If you hadn't been here, I probably would have done something I couldn't take back. He gives me small smile. That's what friends are for. You've been through hell, Ryan, but you're handling it better than most would. Let out bitter laugh, taking sip of beer. I don't feel like I'm handling it. Every time I think about what Natalie did, what Adrian did, I don't know if I can let this go. Lucas's expression grows serious. You don't have to let it go, but you also can't let it consume you. You've already taken first step. By confronting him, got your money back. Now you need to focus on next step. I nod, staring at cash on table. The police, I say finally. He doesn't deserve to walk away from this. Neither of them do. You sure? Lucas asks cautiously. You told him you wouldn't go to cops. Yeah, I told him that, I say, jaw tightening. But why should I protect him? After everything he's done? He's a criminal, Lucas. They both are. And the messages, the photos, I have all the evidence. It's not just about me anymore. People like him need to face consequences. Lucas nods, eyes hardening. Then we go to police. I'll go with you. Thanks, Lucas, I say, gratitude welling up in chest. For everything. I don't know how I'm going to get through this, but knowing you've got my back makes it little easier. He gives me reassuring pat on shoulder. You're stronger than you think, Ryan. You're going to come out of this better, smarter, and free from all the shit she put you through. Next morning, armed with files transferred to my phone, walk into police station. Lucas right beside me, steadying presence. As I explain situation to officer at desk, feels surreal. Recounting events of past few days, the stage kidnapping, the extortion, the betrayal. Officer's expression grows grim. As he reviews evidence, I hand over screenshots of Natalie and Adrian's messages, the photos, details of staged ransom. By time I finish, can see gears turning in his head. This is serious, he says, tone firm. We'll open investigation. With this evidence, shouldn't take long to build case. I nod. Resolve hardening. Good. They need to be held accountable. After filing report, Lucas and I walk out of station, weight on chest lifting slightly. It's not over yet, but feel sense of satisfaction, knowing wheels of justice are turning. That afternoon, make another important call. This time to divorce lawyer. Sit in car waiting for line to connect. Mixture of emotions swirl in chest. Anger, sadness, and bittersweet sense of relief. Andrews and Wilson Law Office. Woman's voice says. On other end of line. Hi, I say. Voice steady. Need to schedule consultation. I'm filing for divorce. Of course, she says. Tone professional. We can get you in tomorrow morning? Does that work for you? Yes, I say. Without hesitation. Thank you. Hang up. Lean back in seat. Exhale deeply. Road ahead going to be difficult, but ready to take steps necessary to rebuild my life. Natalie had taken so much from me. My trust, my peace of mind, my sense of security. But she couldn't take everything. Still had my dignity, my strength, and support of people who truly cared. When I get home, Luke is still there, watching something mindless on TV. Looks up as I walk in, raises eyebrow. How'd it go? Filed report with police, I say, sitting down beside him. And I called lawyer. First appointment's tomorrow. Grin spreads across his face. That's what I like to hear. You're taking control, Ryan. I nod, feeling spark of hope. For first time in days. Yeah, I say quietly. I am. Morning sun streams through blinds, casting long shadows on living room floor. Sit at kitchen table, fresh cup of coffee in hand, staring at phone. Hardly slept night before. Mind replaying every event, every betrayal, every confrontation. Today is start of next chapter. My appointment with lawyer. Beginning of formal process. To end my marriage. Lucas already up, scrolling through his phone. As he nurses his own cup of coffee, glances up when notices me, staring blankly at table. Nervous, he asks. A little, I admit. It feels final, you know? Filing for divorce. Turning her over to cops. It's like I'm officially closing door. On everything we had. Lucas sets phone down, leans forward. Ryan, that door closed. The moment she chose Adrian, all you're doing now is making it official and protecting yourself. I nod, knowing he's right. Still thought of paperwork, court dates, inevitable fights, makes stomach churn. Take deep breath. Steel myself for day ahead. Lawyer's office is modest space downtown. Walls lined with certificates, shelves crammed with law books. Robert Andrews, sharp-looking man in late 40s, greets me with firm handshake. Warm smile that doesn't quite reach eyes. Ryan, he says, gesturing for me to sit. I've gone over notes your assistant sent. Quite the situation you found yourself in. You could say that, I say dryly. Sink into chair across from him. He leans forward, pen poised over yellow notepad. First, let's talk about divorce. Are there any joint assets we need to discuss? Property? Bank accounts? Debts? Fill him in on everything. The house, savings accounts, the investments. Natalie and I didn't have children. One small mercy, but dividing assets still going to be nightmare. And what about evidence? He asks, eyes sharp. The messages, the photos, the staged kidnapping. Do you want to use that in divorce proceedings? Yes, I say, without hesitation. She doesn't deserve anything. After what she's done, I want this to be as clean and quick as possible. Andrews nods, jotting down notes. Understandable. With evidence you've provided, this will work heavily in your favor. Court won't look kindly on her actions. His calm confidence is reassuring. By time meeting is over, feel little more in control. Paperwork is underway. Plan is set, one step closer to closing this chapter of my life. That afternoon, received call from police. They've reviewed evidence, moving forward with case against Adrian and Natalie. Officer's voice professional but firm. As he explains next steps, we've issued warrant for Adrian's arrest, and we'll be bringing Natalie in for questioning as well. Given nature of charges, it's likely she'll face legal consequences too. Hearing those words feels like vindication for first time in weeks. Feel like scales are tipping back in my favor. Justice being served. They'll face repercussions of their actions. Later that evening, Lucas and I sit on couch. Pizza box open between us, watching mindless action movie. Mood is lighter now. Quiet sense of accomplishment. Hanging in air. You're doing right thing, Lucas says. Between bites. Turning them in. Filing for divorce. You're taking back control. I nod, chewing thoughtfully. I just wish it didn't have to be this way. I thought Natalie and I were building life together. Now feels like I never really knew her. Lucas sets plate down, leans back against couch. Sometimes people aren't who we think they are. It's not your fault, Ryan. You gave her everything, and she threw it away. That's on her, not you. I exhale slowly, letting his words sink in. He's right. I did my best to be good husband, to build life with Natalie. Her betrayal wasn't reflection of my failures. It was reflection of her choices. Thanks, Lucas, I say quietly, for everything. I don't know how I'm going to repay you for all this. He grins, claps me on shoulder. You don't have to repay me. That's what friends are for. As credits roll on movie, evening turns to night. Feel flicker of hope. Road ahead still uncertain. But for first time in long time, feel like I'm moving forward. Not just surviving, but reclaiming my life, one step at a time. And I'm not alone. It's late. Finally beginning to feel day's exhaustion settle into bones. Lucas went home hour ago, leaving me alone with thoughts and faint hum of television. In background, lean back on couch, Let quiet of house seep in. It's not peace, but close enough. Then comes the knock. Freeze, body tensing. Glance at clock. Nearly midnight. First thought is Lucas. Maybe coming back for something he forgot. But deep down, know better. Part of me already knows who it is. Open door. And there she stands. Natalie looks nothing. Like composed, confident woman I'd once loved. Hair is mess. Face blotchy from crying. Clutches coat tightly around her. Like it could shield her. From storm she created. Ryan, she says, voice shaky. Can I come in? Stare at her. Every muscle screaming to slam door in her face. But something stops me. Morbid curiosity, perhaps. Or desire to hear what excuse she has now. Step aside without word. Let her in. She stands awkwardly in living room. Eyes darting around. As if searching for something familiar. But warmth is gone. Space she once filled. Feels colder now. Emptier. What do you want, Natalie? I ask. Voice flat. She turns to face me. Eyes glistening with fresh tears. I made a mistake, Ryan, she whispers. Adrian, he's not who I thought he was. He's a liar. A thief. He made all these promises. Said we'd have this amazing life together. But he's nothing. Cross arms. Lean against wall. And you're just figuring this out now? Her face crumples. She steps closer. Voice desperate. I was stupid, Ryan. I thought I was chasing something better. But I didn't realize what I had. You were always there for me. Always steady. Adrian, he doesn't care about anyone but himself. Can't help it. Laugh. Sharp, bitter sound. Echoes in quiet room. Her eyes widen. For a moment looks like deer. Caught in headlights. You made your choice, Natalie, I say. Shaking head. You chose him. You chose to betray me. To lie to me. To humiliate me. And now that you've realized he's a loser, you think you can just waltz back in here and expect me to take you back? Her lip quivers. Reaches out, but I step back. Space between us growing wider. Ryan, I didn't know. Don't, I snap. Cutting her off. Don't stand there and act like victim. You knew exactly what you were doing. You just didn't think you'd lose. Her tears flow freely now, but they don't stir any sympathy in me. I'd given her my love, my trust, my life, and she threw it all away. For a man who sold her empty promises. You don't understand, she says. Voice breaking. I was lost. I felt trapped. And Adrian, he made me feel alive again. Laugh again. This time softer. More resigned. Alive? You call this alive? Running back here begging for forgiveness. Because your fantasy fell apart? You're not alive, Natalie. You're just desperate. Her shoulders slump. For first time, she seems to realize depth of damage she's caused. Ryan, she whispers. Please. I know I don't deserve it. But can we try again? Can we fix this? Stare at her. Strange calm settling over me. I'd imagined this moment before, back when pain was fresh and raw. Thought I'd feel vindicated, powerful. But now looking at her, all I feel is emptiness. She's not woman I loved. She's stranger. No, Natalie, I say quietly. We can't fix this. You killed it. Her face crumples. She sinks onto couch. Head in hands. I don't know what to do, she sobs. That's not my problem anymore, I say. Voice firm. You made your choice. And now you have to live with it. Walk to door. Open it. Gesture for her to leave. She looks up at me, eyes pleading. But I don't waver. Goodbye, Natalie, I say. She stands slowly. Wiping tears, walks toward door, pauses on threshold. As if hoping I'd stop her. But I don't. She steps outside. And I close door behind her. Finality of moment settling over me. As I lean against door. Silence returns. It isn't peace I craved, but something close. And for first time, feel like I can breathe again. Days after Natalie's final visit. Pass in strange blur. For first time in weeks, my home is quiet. Not tense, suffocating silence. That defined last chapter of marriage. But calm, steady quiet that I can breathe in, start to rebuild. Piece by piece. Lawyer assured me, divorce proceedings would favor me, especially with evidence I provided. Police investigation into Adrian and Natalie's. Staged kidnapping moving forward as well. Knowing justice is on way. Give sense of closure. Hadn't expected. But what matters most is rediscovering myself. Throw myself into routines of everyday life, little things I'd neglected. In the chaos, cleaning house feels therapeutic, like scrubbing floors and dusting shelves, also clearing away remnants. Of betrayal, rearrange furniture, move her things into storage, reclaim spaces that were once ours. Slowly house begins to feel like mine again. Lucas, ever loyal friend, checks in frequently, sometimes drops by unannounced. With takeout or beers, we spend hours talking, laughing, strategizing about what I'll do next. Other times he just sits with me, offering quiet support. Couldn't have gotten through it without him. One evening, as we sit on porch, watching sun dip below horizon, Lucas turns to me and says, "So what's next, Ryan? What's the plan?" Take sip of beer, thinking it over. I don't know. Focus on work, I guess. Maybe take trip, clear my head. He nods approvingly. Good. You deserve that. Don't let this define you. I won't, I say firmly. And mean it. Work becomes my sanctuary. As software architect, always thrived on problem solving. Diving back into complex projects gives sense of purpose. My colleagues, who noticed my absence and strain I'd been under, welcome me back with open arms. For first time in weeks, feel like myself again. Also started hitting the gym. Suggestion from Lucas, who swore by exercise as stress reliever. At first dragged myself there, out of obligation, but soon becomes part of routine. Physical exertion burns away. Lingering anger. With each session, feel stronger, both physically and mentally. Weekends no longer reminder of what I'd lost, but opportunity to rediscover what I enjoyed. Take up hiking, exploring trails. Never had time for before. Quiet of woods, fresh air, sense of accomplishment when reach summit. All reminders that life goes on and can still be beautiful. One day, leaving grocery store, run into old friend from college, Andrea. We'd shared few classes back then, though lost touch over years. Her warm smile, easy laugh, just as I remembered. Ryan, wow, it's been ages, she says, face lighting up. Andrea, I say, genuinely surprised. It really has. How have you been? End up grabbing coffee at nearby cafe, catching up on everything, from work to travel to random quirks of life. Refreshing to talk to someone who doesn't know whole messy saga of my marriage. Someone who sees me as just Ryan, not guy whose wife betrayed him. As we say goodbye, she smiles and says, "We should do this again sometime." It was good catching up. Find myself smiling back. Genuine warmth. Haven't felt in months. Yeah, I'd like that. As weeks turn into months, realize I'm no longer surviving. I'm thriving. Pain and anger that consumed me are fading, replaced by sense of clarity and resilience. Not same person I'd been before Natalie's betrayal, but stronger, wiser, more sure of myself. One evening, sit on porch, watching sunset. Think about everything been through. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the anger. It had all seemed insurmountable at the time, but now looking back, see it for what it was, a chapter, not the end of a book. And as sun dips below horizon, painting sky in shades of orange and gold. Feel something haven't felt in long time. Peace. Life is moving forward. And so am I. Court date set for next month. Divorce papers ready. Police building strong case against both of them. Their lies catching up finally. Finished repainting house last weekend. Lucas helped. Chose colors I wanted, not what Natalie would have picked. Small victory, but feels significant. Started planning that trip. To mountains I'd mentioned. Something I'd always wanted to do, but never had courage. For Andrea and I meet for coffee. Couple times a week now, just as friends. But it's nice, having someone new to talk to. Someone who never knew old me. Someone who sees me as I am now. Stronger, more confident, more real somehow. Last night, Lucas asked if I was okay. For first time, answer wasn't automatic or forced, just smiled and said, "Yeah, I really am," and meant it. Looking at setting sun now. Know one thing for certain, what Natalie and Adrian did will always be part of my story. But it's not the whole story. Not anymore. They tried to break me, but instead, they made me realize how strong I really am. And that's something they can never take away. Future isn't clear, but that's okay. For first time in years, feel truly free to write my own story, one sunset at a time.